Hello, Jade.
Hello, Riley.
How's it going? I said.
It's been
Oh,
a week.
it has been a week. If you're watching the video podcast segment, if you're watching on the video, you can see that there's something wrong with the background today. Because Jade's desktop background is just black. So I wanted to have the candle photo here, so I just have the photo on open in the fucking the whatever the hell application this
First
is.
wave possible.
Just photos. Yeah, it's like a cardboard cutout. It's like a billboard. Um, but yeah, how has your week been, Jade? How's it been?
It feels like it's really been a week.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, for me, it just kind of like I can't even name a thing I did over the last week other than go like shopping for some fucking socks.
I I guess like my biggest event this week, I got fucking attacked.
Yeah, you did. You did yesterday.
I
Yesterday,
did.
there was a hate brigade on
I
your
hate brigade.
Discord. It's happened to me. It's happened to you now.
It's happened to me now.
Yeah. At least with you, the mods were awake and we knew how to use the tools, or at least Ansari knew how to use the tools to delete it all. So that's good.
Yeah,
When
I
I,
feel like
yeah,
between Anseri and Whisper, because
yeah,
then Whisper did the banning.
yeah. I got there. I was like making breakfast. I wasn't watching the stream or like using my phone or Discord or anything when it happened, and I opened up Discord, saw that I had a message from David saying you should probably clean up Jade's server, and then I looked and it was like just disgusting images, and I was like, oh,
Yeah, I'd like to not specify, but yes,
yeah.
disgusting images. They raided out my server. I want to give a big thank you to everybody who helped.
Yeah, especially
We got
Whisper and
new
Ansari.
mods on as well. We got more mods now as well. So anybody who wants to fucking try something, fuck off.
Yeah.
We are prepared.
When it happened to me, it was like 1 a.m. All of the mods were asleep, and I didn't have any tools to delete it, so I had to delete every image manually. And that was disgusting. But I'm happy that we've created nice safety nets and stuff. We have verifications and stuff. It's important to set up. I was telling Maul because apparently Maul's friend also got hit yesterday because she was trans and got hit. Like it was just so fucking benign. I think hers was more targeted though. Like I think for her,
Question why I was targeted.
it's probably because you.
Theory
Yeah.
my theory is that it's off the back or of our most popular episode so far.
I don't even think that. I think it's just like they go, because for me, I'm pretty sure it was just because I was playing Undertale and I had queer tags. So I think for you, it's just that you had queer tags and they're just going along and like, here, let's get this person. I honestly don't think because they didn't say anything specific. They just went, here's disgusting images. Did you like them? Because they did the exact same thing to me when it happened to me. They said the exact same things. Did you like the images we sent?
Such bullshit. They came into my chat on Twitch.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I had to ban one of them. They did that. Yeah, that's what the exact same for me. They when the one I saw talk said the exact same thing that they said to me when I had me. So I think they just go through like tags and then just raid people who have queer tags or playing like queer friendly games or whatever. Or like
So
furry
stupid.
tags. It's just loser shit. It's pure loser shit. Because
But then, like, what is the best defense then, really?
verification for joining a server and probably like if you have a bigger chat, probably follower only chat. Like if you have like a big streaming community, but we don't have that. Like if you get like an average view count of 1,000 people, that's when you can throw on like follower only chat, in my opinion. Because
I
anything
wouldn't
less
say
than that,
1,000. I'd say once you cross like the sort of
500.
200, sort of
Yeah,
250 mark.
maybe that's better. Um,
250 is a lot of people to be
250
like
is a
in
lot.
your.
That is a lot of people to be actively viewing. Yeah, you're right. Um, but yeah,
So how
like
about you?
you could use phone number verification. Like your account has to have a phone number linked, but that can turn some people away.
I probably am going to go through security settings this evening and this weekend a little more
Yeah.
thoroughly. I need to catch up with that.
Yeah, on Discord you can turn on the phone number verification too, not just on Twitch. But honestly, for Discord, the best way to do it is just have a role that you have to have in order to post, and you have to have that role. What the fuck? Oh, I sorry. I set an alarm to remember to look at my college finances. Forgot to turn it off. Uh, but yeah, for Discord, I just have a role that you have to have in order to post, and only the mods can give out that role. You can't get it just by saying yes to the rules. Um, but honestly, with that, the verification part mainly just comes from, does this account have a description? Does it have like a profile picture? The biggest tell is if it has nitro. If an account has nitro, then I know that they're a real account, that they're a real person, because these people make these accounts out the ass. They're not going to have nitro on them, right?
No, yes, that's fair.
Yeah.
Nitro is very
It's
expensive.
not a guarantee that the person's like a good person or anything, obviously, but it's a guarantee that they're not like a spam account that's there just to post awful things. Um, I also think that pronouns in bio is also a good tip, but a lot of the times they
That
make themselves very obvious.
yeah.
That like one of the usernames had like Trump in the name. Like they make it very clear what they're there to do, and also if they join 5, 8 at a time, then it's like, yeah, you guys tried to get in.
I hate it.
Yeah. Well, we
I
can.
saw that it was only 3 joins on mine though.
Yeah, yeah. They didn't get that far in. I think Whisper or Ansari, whoever activated the raid. No, I think Ansari activated the raid, like notified that there's a raid. I have to find out how to do a lot of that stuff because they were doing it through auto mod, which I don't know if that was done through like that turtle. I forget the name of Carl.
Callbot.
Carlbot, yeah,
I don't
Carlbot.
have Callbot in my server,
You
do
have
I?
Sapphire.
I have Sapphire.
You have Sapphire. I have Carlbot. But then I have to
Carl.
figure out how to do that stuff because Inseri was just able to like
Carl.
notify that the server was
Carl.
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 But yeah, that's kind of sucked. But that's
Yeah.
that's probably the most notable thing out of my week. How's your week been?
Um, I kind of just sleepwalked through it. I'm going to Florida at the end of the month, and I'm getting very nervous that my job is going to be really pissy about me being gone for a week, even though I gave them like 8 months notice, like that I'm going to be gone. So
I
I may
can't
or may
believe
not get fired.
you're willingly going to Florida.
I'm not really willingly going to Florida. It's more of like, hey, we're gonna do a family vacation, and I'm like, I don't want to miss a family vacation because I haven't been on vacation
Florida.
in like 8 years. No, the last time I went on like
Florida.
a vacation was like a year and a half ago when I went to Hershey Park with my family. But that was like in 2023 and also only a weekend. The last time I went on like a week vacation, I think I might have been like 12. So I want to go on this because it'd be nice. Um, but you know what? I actually am excited to go to Florida because I like seeing places. We're going to do a road trip, so I get to see like
Florida's barely a place.
it is barely a place. It is like the worst state. It maybe not.
Ah,
Utah's probably no. Utah's prettier though. Utah's got prettiness.
I mean, we could always measure the worst state by Nazis per capita.
Florida's pretty high up then.
I know, but does it beat Idaho?
Idaho and New Hampshire do have it beat, I think. Especially Idaho. Washington and Oregon have a pretty high amount too because of their proximity to the Idaho Nazis. Like they have like
Yeah,
the whole eastern side of the states are just like militia
that's
towns.
mostly spillover from
Yeah,
Idaho.
yeah. It's contagion. It's the disgusting ooze spilling out of Idaho. Um
Disgusting.
Speaking
Spilling out
of
of Idaho.
bad states, let's move into our first news topic. And before we do that, make sure that if you're enjoying the content, make sure you like and subscribe because we appreciate it. It helps out a lot, and it gets more people's
We
eyes
love
on the
you.
episode. Yes, we will.
We will appreciate you. We will bake cookies in your honor,
Well,
and
maybe not me because I don't know how to bake
myself.
cookies. Yeah, I'd love to eat them. I'll definitely eat them. But yeah,
Yes.
Texas. Texas is in the news.
Texas.
Have you heard about this one?
Tex. I've caught some bits and pieces, honestly,
Some bits and
but the
pieces.
bits and pieces I mostly caught were when it was first developing. So it was
Yeah.
just like the fact of like, okay, they're doing this to get away from the
Yes.
vote or to
Okay.
prevent a quorum. That's what it
Yes.
was.
Yeah. So Texas is the most populated red state. So many people live in Texas. And because of that, it's not really a red state, it's a purple state that's been suffocated and gerrymandered into being a red state. Texas is nearly like 50-50 Republican and Dem, but it always goes red because of how gerrymandered the districts are. And the Texas Senate, the Texas State Senate and stuff, they want to redistrict the state in order to give the national Republicans 4 more seats in the House of Representatives. Uh, because at the moment they have a lead in the House, but they're worried that come midterms they're going to lose that lead because of how unpopular Republicans have been. So they want to secure 4 deeply red districts, turn 4 blue districts, or at least contentious districts, into deep red districts. So the House Dems, or the House, I'm sorry, the Texas Dems fled the state so that there was not enough people in the state it's not enough like members of the government in the state to actually hold a vote. They would have to like suspend the vote. So they all went to Illinois. I think some went to New York, but they mostly went to Illinois. And I just want to cover this part first because it's either asking for money. J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois, has been funding them. J.B. Pritzker is like probably the best Democrat governor at the moment, off the top of my head. He's probably the best, maybe next to like Tim Walz, but Tim Walz isn't as like militant as J.B. Pritzker is. Pritzker is like a strap me on a nuke and fire me at the White House kind of guy. I like Pritzker, even though he's a billionaire. Um, he's one of the good ones.
I don't know. Rich people can go fuck themselves in
Yeah,
general.
but J.B. Pritzker seems like a I'm autistic for money guy. He's got like,
That's
yeah, he doesn't seem like a I'm a ghoul like hoarding my dragon thing. It's like a fucking Warren Buffett type of guy. I don't really know that much. Um, he's pro legalizing cannabis,
uh,
if that's anything. Uh, fucking Angry
it's not much
Birds.
in today's climate.
Look at the Angry Birds. That's not Angry Birds. It's fucking whatever the hell. Um, but yeah, he's been funding their stay. Him, Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, and Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, met up at one point recently to talk about states having to fight back against the National Republicans because the National Democrats are fucking useless. As we've said multiple times, Chuck Schumer, um, Hakeem Jeffries, they're all awful. Nancy Pelosi, they're all useless. Um, and even Cory Booker, who we glazed at one point recently, he's just been dropping the ball consistently. Just awful. Like, they suck. So we have the Texas Democrats doing something. I want to point out because this article actually gives a really good graph at the pre and post gerrymander districts. So this is what Texas congressional districts look like right now at the over the whole state, right? And you can see what they want to do is this. It's not that noticeable when you're zoomed out this far, but they give you zoom ins that I'm going to look at in a second. You can see there's some significant changes. District 17 here like shifts almost entirely over this way. District 1 gets like all boxy and shit. District 6 just starts to just reach entirely over here. Like, it's a mess already, as you can just see. Just South Africa doesn't have this stuff, does it?
No, no.
No, because you guys have like a more functioning electoral system than us. But look at Dallas.
Well, I mean, that's
Wow.
arguable. I mean, the way it works here is so you have the political parties, right?
Right.
And that's what's on the ballot is the
Yeah.
party. So you vote for the party, and then generally the person who's the president of the party, should that party win, becomes the president.
Mhm.
And your vote isn't so much done with like districts and stuff. It's, yeah, there's local and municipal elections,
Yeah.
but for the national election, it is one vote, one vote. It is your vote means one vote.
Yeah.
There's no electoral college. There's none of this intermediary bullshit. Your vote is worth one vote. And I think like if America could do that, oof,
Oh yeah, no.
changes.
It would be so nice. So this is what Dallas, the area around Dallas and Fort Worth looks like right now. I want you to pay
Because
attention to
like
what this looks like.
before
Oh, okay, yes, yes.
you do continue, like if I understand correctly, if you live in certain places,
Yeah.
you just there is no reason to vote.
Yeah. So actually, I will real quickly explain how these work because I realize that we probably have a lot of people who aren't familiar with how this works watching. I'm going to explain how this works. So we'll take District 33, for example, or maybe District 30, because District 30 is the one that is primarily representing Dallas, right? District 30, you have a member of the House of Representatives who represents you. I'll actually Google it right now. Texas District 30. So, as you can see, this is the district. It is currently represented by Jasmine Crockett. She's a Democrat. So, Jasmine Crockett is the representative for District 30. If you live in District 30, you're probably living in this very deep. You're probably Democrat, considering this fucking district always votes Democrat. So this is probably because the city's here and stuff. So the way gerrymandering works is it's mostly done by Republicans, so I'm going to use it from the perspective of a Republican gerrymandering. You want to split up blue areas in a way that you dilute them out and they can't win the district. Like you split them up up across a bunch of different districts so that their votes mean nothing. And
Yeah.
instead, the Republicans in like the suburbs and the rural areas dominate the district. So I actually don't know the demographic makeup of the districts at the moment, but we'll see when we actually look at the more gerrymandered versions. You can actually see what they're actually doing, and like you can probably make assumptions on what areas are heavily Republican and stuff. Like you can assume this area out here is probably Republican because of how far and wide it stretches compared to like the urban center over here. So like you probably have like some Democrat voters over here, probably minorities who are over here, and then it stretches out to like include all this vast like open area. Of course, I don't actually have like specifics on this, but this is typically how it goes, and we'll probably see if that's correct if we look at the districts in a second. But you can see that like it's actually kind of rare for a whole city to just be in one district. You can see with cities like San Francisco and LA, they get cut up majorly. But we'll look at the gerrymandered ones now. This is what it's going to look like after the
Oh my
redrawings.
God.
Yeah,
What is that monstrosity?
so this is what gerrymandering looks like. As you can
TK3
see,
players be like,
yeah.
look at my map painting,
So
Dom.
do you remember District 30, how it included Dallas and then like a lot of this vast area? Well, now they've lumped all of the Dallas voters, all of these median era voters into one district. And then they've also included even more Republicans out here. But they've cut up. They're centralizing all of the Democratic voters into like the same district. Like look at this. Look how much they include in District 33 over here. District 33 was originally the outskirt areas of Dallas, and now it's like Fort Worth. If you're now living in Fort Worth, you no longer vote for District 12. You vote for District 33 alongside the people who used to vote for District 33. So they've turned District 12 into a Republican district by removing the votes from Fort Worth and adding them to votes that were already going to go to Democrats. You can see District 6 just gets fucking moved over here, so District 25 can be moved from over here to down over here. District 24 actually generally stays the same. It's probably a Republican
So
district.
I do have to ask though, right? Like as we
Yeah.
said, we're gonna start getting deeper into these things.
Yeah.
So aside from the minutiae of this, on a bigger scale, would not the one person, one vote completely just nullify this?
Not really, because this is for the House of Representatives. Um, the what you're talking about is for national elections. That would trivialize the
For your
electoral
national
college.
elections, yeah, Yeah, they elect.
for the
So
presidency. Federal, not
this is
national.
more to do with for the House of Reps.
Yeah, this is for the House of Reps. The only way to get around this is
But
to
this
make
is still
gerrymandering entirely, is to make redistricting entirely illegal, and have every state
like
have a grid
districting,
system.
as far as I understand, shouldn't districting be done alongside like geographical lines, not
Yeah, so districting in America is decided by boards. Like there are boards of districtors, and most of the time they are very partisan. They're very biased. They're not disinterested parties. They're very biased, and even when they are disinterested, they're able to be swayed. You basically, whoever controls the state's government is the one who controls how the districts are determined. They're not determined by population count. They're not determined by geographical boundaries. I'll actually pull up a state that's fairly not gerrymandered, my own state,
the
because
red state of New Jersey.
New Jersey is actually not very gerrymandered at all. So you can see what a normal state looks like when it's district. They're typically district along like financial interests. The only real fuckery comes in around District 4 because District 4's got some weird shit. Like for some reason Bayville down here just gets annexed. No fucking reason at all. Whereas like over here, this is Ocean Gate, which Ocean Gate's pretty fucking, it makes sense why it'd be over here. But like they typically keep it along like regional interests. Like up here is a pretty like Asbury Park's over here. You got like Sayreville. Like this is like kind of where in like it starts to get more urbanized and stuff. This is 4 and 2 are a lot of shore districts, so there's a lot of like interests for people who are living along the shore and having small businesses along here. 1 is on the other side of Philadelphia, so you have like a lot of urban stuff over here. 3 is where Trenton is, so this is the capital region, and 7's a lot of rural areas, and then up here is where you have all your big cities and urban areas. So it's very like split along like the interests of the people who live there, right? Whereas you go back to Texas and you go back to the state one, this is entirely determined by like some of these over here. These are large open areas of nothing up here in like this area. But like once you break it down to the state, this is just determined entirely by like, yeah, we got to gerrymander. We got to do it because I mean New Jersey can fit in like this fucking map here, so like it's a little different. New Jersey doesn't have 33 fucking districts, but you can see like
That's
the
gerrymandered
difference.
to all
You can see the
because what I
difference.
found here, right, is as I said, in South Africa we have more like municipalities.
Yeah.
So I found this.
One
This
second, I
is
got to open up
the
your screen
Western
share.
Cape. This is the Western Cape.
1 second. Yeah, Central Karoo. Okay, yeah, this
Mhm.
makes sense. This makes sense. So this is like for members of
This is
parliament
geographical.
or not parliament, wherever you have.
This is the municipalities.
All right.
So the way that your voting goes, right, is that you have the national election, which is your like one vote, one person, and then you have your municipal elections. So
Yeah,
that determines which party will then
win
run
that
the
province. Yeah.
municipalities.
Okay.
Well, this is not provinces.
So, yeah, sorry.
This is one province.
Yeah, that's Western Cape, and these are the breakup of Western Cape. So these would be like in
Yeah,
America, these would be the counties.
right. So you have the major sort of municipalities with each their own like little zones.
Yeah.
So up in the Cedarburg, up here to Prince Albert, Oudtshoorn is like this is Oudtshoorn, Knysna is all like George. This is very holiday locations.
Yeah, this is where they have all the rich people live on their villas and stuff, right?
Right, but also like if you live in like this area, this is where you'll go on holiday. This is where your
Oh,
family
okay.
holidays.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 I
The
see what you
camping
mean.
sites and
Yeah, like it's not
that
very
sort of shit.
developed.
The rich people are going to be here
Oh
in
yeah,
the city of Cape Town.
they're gonna be in that little cove, right, by Table Mountain, right?
Table Mountain, Clifton, that really
Yeah, yeah,
rich place.
yeah.
But like you could see, I'm technically like where
I
I
know where you
stay. I
are. Yeah,
won't completely dox myself. I'm in city of Cape Town.
you're in Matsikama in the sand.
The sand. Yeah, this is all like this is this is all basically mostly nothing. There's a couple of small like towns up along the coast, but up here you're getting mostly nothing. Cedarburg is kind of mountainous still. You got like Lanesburg, you got up to like this. The Karoo is very flat, so this is like what we'd call the Platteland or the
Yeah,
flatlands.
yeah.
The Winelands. This is all very mountainous here. The
That's
Cape
where Stellenbosch
Winelands.
is in the and like. Oh yeah,
Yeah, so
Stellenbosch. Yeah, I
you'll
didn't even see the
see.
line there. Yeah,
Yeah, so this is Stellenbosch, Drakensberg, which is the mountains.
yeah.
I think it's called the Drakensberg Mountains, which you've been doing your German.
Drake Dragon.
Dragon,
Yeah.
read
So yeah,
about
but this
it.
so that you so for these like Central Karoo, Cape Winelands and stuff, they vote for the party that'll run their municipality, right? And then those guys are local, or are they part of like the big legislative
Those would be your
body?
local
Local. How do you
elections.
vote for your legislative body? What do you call your legislative body? Is it the parliament?
Yes.
Yes. So
So we have a parliament.
how do you vote for parliament in South Africa?
Would it horrify you to know that I don't rightfully know how we get that parliament? I know like a lot of the people in parliament are appointed by the president. That's his cabinet,
Right. They're the cabinet,
like
yeah.
head of this and head of that. But how they get like I've always
And
believed it was just whoever they fucking wanted because we've
bec-
got such a corrupt
so
country.
so it's actually I can't even assume it because South Africa is the only country in the world that has your type of government where you have a president and a parliament.
How would I look that up?
I don't know. I guess the South African parliament electoral system. Or like just go to the Wikipedia page for the South Africa parliament
Yeah.
because South Africa is the only one with a presidential parliamentary. You guys have a very unique government. Parliament of South Africa. There you go. So, under the bicameral parliament comprise the National Assembly and the National Council of Provinces. The current 28th Parliament. All right. Both chambers hold their meetings in the House of Parliament. Okay. Go to
1961. Here we go. 94.
yeah, 94. A new interim constitution introduced 4 years. All right. Senate consists of 90 senators, 10 nominated by each of the 9 provinces. Okay, so each province gives 10 senators. The National Assembly consists of 400 members elected by voters on a proportional. Okay, so that's your House of Representatives is the proportional one, and then you have a Senate. There are no electoral districts. Each party is allocated a number of seats and proportionate to the percentage of votes. Okay, so depending on how many votes you get a proportionate number of parliament members.
Okay, that
So
makes sense.
that's what we should
And
have
that's
in
similar to
America.
what some European places
Yeah, it's
do, don't
similar
they?
to what like the UK does. Um,
Yeah.
so that makes
You
sense
get X amount of seats in parliament if you
if you're
win.
if you're a
And that's
municipality.
why when the ANC in the last vote lost their like 50 plus percent majority,
Yeah,
why they needed to do the GNU, the Government of National Unity.
because they didn't win enough seats.
Okay, because they would not be able to bully anything through law wise if they didn't work with somebody else.
Yeah, yeah,
And
because
everybody
they didn't have the
was
majority;
like,
they had the minority.
yeah, everybody sort of jumped on the bandwagon of like the ANC knows that no other party is as big as the DA,
Yeah,
and they didn't hold enough for like if they just teamed up with only the DA and nobody else, it still would have been thin, if that
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah. They needed like a strong
Yeah.
majority to run the government, which is something you don't even see in
So
America because of how it's structured. Um, but yeah, so actually, it's interesting to learn how that works. But now you can see that in America, it's heavily fucking corrupt. It's so bad, and this isn't even the worst of it. It gets worse with these gerrymander districts. We have Austin. So this is what Austin looks like now. So you have one district over here. You have 10 district which
no,
cuts into Austin, 37 which is mostly the outside of Austin, and then you have all these like Republican fucking like outside counties.
they're not even numbered in a sane way.
No, they're
Like
not
10 is
because
between 11 and
yeah,
37.
they're because the number of districts is determined by population, right? but the actual makeup of where they are is entirely up to these councils. You can also see San Antonio down here. So then they cut it up. 37 is now moved over, so 35 can just cut in. Now, 35 includes San Antonio and Austin, so all the votes from San Antonio and Austin are included in 35, when 35 used to include neither of them. 27 over here just decides to fucking exist over here. I don't even know what county this is. You can see District 10 just bypasses the entirety of Austin itself. Like, just why does this exist as a district? 35? Like, this is just so blatantly gerrymandered as fuck to
But I
include all
just
the
feel
votes
to
into one
myself,
district.
right? Like, since these districts are like this, imagine being. How do you campaign in that district, right? Like
You
35.
can't. You can't, because now
Like you'd
you're
have to
campaigning for
drive
two
from
cities.
Austin to. Yeah, you're campaigning across two cities
You have
and all the
the
dirt in between.
Because whereas originally for 35, you only had to go for like farmers and ranchers and stuff and people in the suburbs. But now, all of a sudden, if you wanted to win District 35, you have to campaign in both Austin and San Antonio, two different cities that have two different interests and two different local political and cultural scenes. If you're campaigning for District 37, you initially represented Austin, but now you're representing only half of Austin, the other half of Austin. Like, this is entirely ridiculous. Like, this is completely ridiculous. For these, like, rural counties, like 11 over here, where you recently used to be in 11, now you're in 31, nothing's gonna fucking change. But if you're representing a city, imagine if, like, Boston all of a sudden had it represented by a district and also had to represent, like, every other city on, like, the Bay or something. Like, now you're having to account for so many people just because they wanted to turn three Democratic seats into one Democratic seat. And I'm pretty sure it gets even worse for Houston. So this is what Houston looks like now. And then this is what Houston looks like after this gerrymander. You can see again, 18, you're representing the people down here. And now all of a sudden you're representing the people up here. 29 represents like what 18 takes over, and now it just like swoops down here. District 9's over here, and it just moves entirely over here. District 9 isn't even in the same location. It's over here now. It's
District 9, I've seen that
ridiculous.
movie.
Yeah, the South African movie. This is just ridiculous. This is the worst one in my opinion, because the District 9 just swaps places with the District 22. Like, District 22 moves up like it's like a whole fucking musical chairs.
Yeah, no, this
This is ridiculous.
and people convince themselves that this is not partisan.
Yeah, people convince themselves that this is normal, because then you had the
Like, this is okay.
you had the hold on, let me pull up the article. The FBI saying that it's okay to go and arrest the Texas Dems if Texas state troopers want to. They're allowed to go to Illinois and arrest the Texas Dems, which this is where I think this shit's gonna get into like fucking Civil War territory, because Pritzker has said that if the Texas Dems get arrested, he is going to send the Illinois State Police to defend them, to like protect them from being arrested. So you're gonna have actual like state conflict if they get arrested.
Like the state police versus the federal
Like
police.
versus Texas police versus Illinois police, or Texas National Guard versus Illinois police, or whatever the fuck. It is going to be actual like standoff between the states.
I find it very concerning how many police forces there are in the US.
Well, every town has a police force, and then every state has the
No,
state
but
police,
like
which patrol like highways, and then they have the National Guard, which is used for like really bad
that's kind of what I
situations.
mean. Like that state police, that local police force, those
Yeah.
are still government workers in the sense of like in the grand scheme of
Yeah.
things.
They work for the
Like that's
state.
still they work for
Yeah.
the
Well, local police, they listen to like the mayor and stuff. They have
but they
like their
don't work
things.
for the federal
They don't
government
work
at
for the
all.
federal government, no.
So
And then state police, they're their highway patrols and stuff. They're the ones who go through like they have jurisdiction to work in entirety of the state, and they're cops. They're not National Guard, they're cops. And they listen to the governor. They listen to like the state. And then the National Guard normally listens to the state, and they respond to mass tragedies and stuff. Like, they'll come out for hurricanes and stuff, but they'll also mobilize for massive uncontrollable riots if the governor sees fit, and they can be taken over by the president if they need to. Like, they can
okay.
like be overturned by the president. And that's like the main jurisdictions of like law enforcement. And then you have like obviously like the military. But the National Guard, you
That's
saw the
just,
president use the National Guard in California,
yeah,
in LA. Um,
that's just, it's too
yeah,
many.
there is too many. There's a lot, but yeah, this is awful. We're gonna see some like actual Civil War shit go down.
I mean, like, what are the charges though?
The charges are treason or whatever the fuck. They're saying that like they're neglecting their duties.
Treason.
Yeah, the charges are that they're cowards basically. Like that's basically what Texas has been saying. Ken Paxton,
Yeah,
like
that's not a federal
it's not.
crime.
No, Texas, the Attorney General of Texas, Ken Paxton, he his his legal framework for this is super shoddy and has been like debunked by like every lawyer I've seen look at it and by like most fucking analysts. Like it's not real. He's also going through a divorce too, which is very funny. Ken Paxton get fucked. Ken Paxton's one of the most evil people in the country at the moment. Like I remember when Trump got elected, I was fearing that he would be made attorney general and because he would like make death camps day one. Um, whereas we had to wait 6 months to get the death camps. But Ken Paxton, his like legal reasoning for this is completely ridiculous and has like no standing. There's basically no charge. The charge is that they left and that they're holding up the vote, which is not a charge. It's entirely like ridiculous and only here to do fascism. It yeah, no. It's the that's the story. That's the story. That's what's happening in our country. I think that Americans in general, the types of the situations like this happen, like the fleeing the state and threatening to arrest them and stuff for fleeing, is because people in America don't treat people who live in other states like they're in the same country.
Well, I mean, like, that's kind of the thing, right? Is that Europe and the United States are kind of similar in that sense of
Yeah,
when you instill a sense of national pride, as you see in Europe, you get things like World War One and World War Two,
I also
where
like.
nations fight each other for like very petty reasons. And in the US, you can't really go to war with each other, so it's just this like
Yeah,
vitriol and apathy that just builds over time to the
yeah,
point where it's like, oh, you're from Arizona, well, I'm from Texas, and Texas is better, so fuck you. It's
yeah,
like, what the
exactly.
fuck are you talking
It's
about?
also like in Europe, those countries are the size of some states, right? Like the country, like Hungary or fucking Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, France. These are countries that are smaller. Things are more closer to home when they happen across the country. Like if someone in the UK, if there's like, so remember those big protests in the UK a while ago over immigrants and shit? And there were like racists in the street bashing the heads of immigrants and stuff with bricks.
Yeah,
Like that happened in everyone's backyard because of how small England is. Everybody
yeah,
was near that. In America, with George Floyd protests or whatever, or the LA things, dumb fuck Republicans don't even treat that like it's America. They don't even treat it like it's happening in their backyard because they're living in Mississippi, while in Minnesota or California, shit's happening, right? And they don't have any locality to it. Nothing happens in Mississippi. Nothing's happening in their fuck ass state. So they have nothing to like reference it to. And so to them, it's just foreign. It's the same way we look at like foreign fucking conflict to them. Like it's there's no like shared experience there, and it just further alienates people from thinking that they're in the same country. America's too big for its own good. Like this is like it's just there's just too much space, and it's not connected enough either. Like we're so disconnected just geographically. Like half the country is a fucking farmland, wasteland of nothing that lives there. So you can't even like
American
jump on a you
wasteland.
can't even jump on a train and head to California if you live in like Mississippi because there's no trains to jump on. Like if you're living in France and you want to like spend like a couple like a weekend in the north when you live in the south, you could like get on a train and like take a train up there. If you live in Germany, you can do that. Fuck, in some countries you could just drive there, but in America you can't. You got to like make that a whole trip like you're going to a foreign country. So like just
Yeah,
there's just
But
so
as far as
much
I know, America is
disconnectedness.
like the road trip country.
America is the road trip country, but I mean, with like the way work culture has been for the past 30 years, you kind of can't go on road trips anymore unless you're like fresh out of college with a lot of money, you know?
Yeah,
That's the only time
trust
you could
fund
really
kid.
road trip is when you're like 21, you have your parents' money and you're able to go out there. That's why the most well-traveled people are like upper middle class to upper class people, because I don't even say upper class people are that well-traveled because they go to like the resorts. And so they don't actually get the travel experience. They just talk to the same people they would normally talk to, just now they're in Cancun. But like upper middle class people are the most well-traveled people, and that's why they're often the most progressive. Upper middle class people, because they have the
That's
education and they get
fair.
to travel, and they get to do the real traveling. Like they go and stay in like the real places and not fucking mega resorts that are built off the on like private land owned in like Mexico that's owned all entirely by like Americans and British people and shit.
Would you believe I've never been to a hotel?
Ah, it's actually surprising, especially because you've been to Austria and Netherlands. I guess you stayed at like um
When I went to the Netherlands, I stayed with my uncle
okay. What about
because I
Austria?
was
Were
a
you in
kid.
like
I was
a
with my mom. And Austria was a school exchange. I just happened to be one of the kids who was 18 at the time.
oh, so you were like living with a kid when you were not living, but like you were staying with a kid who was like a different student?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I was able to do all the big kid things because I was already 18.
I actually
A
haven't been
couple
in a
of us
hotel that
were
many
on that trip.
times. I was in a hotel when I went to Disney when I was a kid. I and I've been to a hotel in New York. Last time I was up there for more than one day. It was a fairly nice hotel. I remember the view was nice. It wasn't anything crazy. It was in like Upper Manhattan. And I stayed at a hotel and I went to DC and that hotel was like whatever. It was just like whatever. But I haven't been in a hotel that many times. It's very nervous being in a hotel, honestly, cuz like you're fucking terrified of like losing anything because you're never gonna get it back because you're in a fucking foreign place, and then you're like, well, if I lost that thing, it's gone forever. Like I'm never getting that back. Terrified of just like being watched. Like it's very weird being in a hotel.
Yeah, I don't think I'd find it all that comfortable.
And the check-in's annoying too. You can't check in until a certain time in some hotels. Like, oh, yeah, you got to carry your luggage around with you when you're going out. Like when we go to Disney later this year, we can't check in until a certain time, so we got to carry our shit with us or leave it in the car or whatever. That's gonna be annoying. Um,
I can't believe you're woefully going to Florida.
look, all right, I'll have stories to tell on the podcast. Can you imagine the story potential of the Disney episode where I get to talk about the Disney stories I had from like watching dumb fucks in Florida or whatever? Think about the
Okay, but
content.
there's just as much risk of that episode just being like roller coasters for 4 hours.
Disney barely has roller coasters. Disney has like
It has
four roller
roller
coasters.
coasters.
It has like
You could
four.
spend an hour per
You
roller.
got
You could spend an
Space
hour per
Mountain.
roller coaster.
You got Space Mountain, Expedition Everest, whatever the hell it's called, the Tron Light Cycle Run, that Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster, and then the
Travel.
Hollywood, not the Hollywood River Rockets Universal. They have the rock and roll, the Aerosmith's rock and roller coaster. Whatever the fuck. Um, they don't have that many. That's nothing compared to like other parks.
You could go an hour per roller coaster.
I
I've seen
could,
you.
I could, especially for Disney ones. I could talk about Space Mountain for like 10 hours. Then I could talk about like the French Space Mountain that was themed
Oh
after
my
Journey to the
god!
Moon. No, okay.
We will wait. We will wait for the fucking Disney episode.
Oh man, we'll wait for the Disney episode when I get to talk about like the theming at like the
Speaking of
Marvel
which,
world. Yeah.
speaking of which, is the podcast on hiatus while you're gone? Is it going to
We're gonna
be
have a
printable?
we're gonna have a pre-recorded episode.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna record an episode beforehand where we cover something that's not so timely, and then we'll just upload that in that week. It'll be really unfortunate if we talk about something that's like oh hey, make a joke about like Trump dying, and then as we upload the episode, like Trump dies. Trump dies. I don't want him to die in Florida. Well, I'm in Florida. If Trump like has an unfortunate fall or something and gets in an accident and passes away, I want it to be when I can instantly be on stream or record. I don't want to be in
You want to
Florida.
jump
Yeah, I wanna be on that. I wanna get my voice out there. I hope that if Trump dies, it's on a Wednesday, so we could talk about it on Thursday for the podcast recording. Or fuck, it happens while we're recording. I want
Or just
to
before,
be
like the
on that
five
shit.
minutes before we start
Yeah,
recording.
to be the 5 minutes before we record. It's like Trump falls down the stairs and breaks his legs and his neck and his back, and every bone in his body is broken. And it's like, oh my god, he passed away. Oh my god. And I'm saying this from like a content perspective. Not that I wish him any harm. Government. I'm not wishing Trump any harm. I'm saying simply that if he
Can I wish him
dies,
harm?
no, you can't, because this is an American-based show.
Can
Our
I
show is
passively
our
wish
our
him harm?
show is based in American IP. It in an American IP. It cannot be said any harm to the president should happen. That cannot happen. You can't say that. Hypothetically speaking, um,
If a large airplane were to drop its engine and the engine fell out of the sky and on top of the President of the United States of America while he stood on the roof.
that'd be very funny. That'd be like the funniest way for a president to die. Not the president, but a president. Wink, 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 wink. Um,
Such as one like the current president.
Perhaps, or maybe President William McKinley from 1900, or maybe Warren
Abe
Harding.
Lincoln was hit by like a
Yeah,
Boeing's.
Boeing turbine engine. It'd be terrifying because those didn't exist back then. All right, let's
Just
cover more
like right
politics.
before Wilkes Booth pulls the trigger, and turbine engine
Just
just
boom.
sideswipe,
Just like a whole ass plane
like
just crashes
misses,
into the Ford's theater.
just like misses Wilkes Booth completely, just like sideswipes only Lincoln out from in front of him.
Because it would be falling from fucking the sky, so it would fall right through the ceiling like a missile. Like, it wouldn't just like hit the balcony. It would go through the balcony into the floor. It would probably fucking collapse the theater. Like, just this fucking Boeing engine. Because that also implies that
At,
the
at,
plane is
terminal,
crashing. Where's the plane crashing?
at terminal velocity.
Yeah, Blinken's turned into paste. He's just fucking
You ask
Jesus
where the plane
Christ.
is, you don't want to know where the plane
No, you don't
is.
want to know where the fuselage went. No. What a fucking horrifying visual. Oh my god. All right, let's cover more fucking politics now. Holy shit. um
Oh God.
the
Oh.
oh man, that's funny. Ice. Ice, 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 ice. They're fucking awful. Yay. Um ICE has removed age limits for hiring. I thought it was raising it, but they removed age limits. You can be 80 years old and go arrest some
I
migrants.
hate ice so much I don't even put it in my drinks anymore.
Oh, ice is nice in drinks, but ice is not nice.
Oh,
So ice,
Tom,
we hate ice. We
we hate ice.
despise ice. Photos like this show us why. They're all masked. They all got their shit ass sunglasses on, plain clothes. Like, you could look at this photo, and if you blurred out, like, because here's the thing too, they don't all have the same insignia for their police. These could just be guys who got Halloween costumes and then just abduct someone. That's like the biggest thing about ICE that's been pissing me off the most, is that they're all so fucking amateur in how they dress, to the point that like these could just be guys, right? Like, these are not like uniformed
They look like,
officers.
you know what they look like?
What do they look like?
Do you remember you mentioned like those protests and you had the right wing groups of people at the
Like Proud
protest?
Boys?
Yeah, like Proud Boys and stuff.
Yeah, that's what they
Like
look
you know
like.
when Trump was still like both sidesing the bullshit, being like,
Oh,
"No,
like
guys, they were good
Charlottesville.
people." Yeah, like those white
Yeah,
groups, those
they
white
look like
supremacists.
yeah,
This is what they look like. They look like
yeah,
the same assholes who showed up to those things.
yeah.
And I bet you,
They are
if
the
you
same
pull those
assholes.
fucking masks down, they are the same assholes.
Yeah. there's been a bunch of bills passed in certain states, like I'm pretty sure Illinois is one of them, and California, to have ICE agents take off their masks and it'd be illegal for them to wear masks, and they fucking hate that because ICE is super unpopular. Everybody hates ICE, like genuinely, except for the die-hard Nazis and racists in this country. Most people in this country fucking hate ICE. Even Republicans, they hate ICE because of the shit that they're doing and the way they're doing it. Like again, this fucking the way they look pisses
I
people
feel
off.
like the Republicans hate ICE for a different reason,
They
as
hate
in
they.
like you're taking away my cheap labor.
That's for some people, but for a lot of people in the Republican Party, they hate how brutal and unnecessary ICE is acting. They hate how like we wanted the
I thought
immigrants
that was
out
a
of our
selling
country.
point for some
We
people
it is for
in
some people, but for the vast majority of Republicans who dislike ICE, it's I wanted the immigrants out of our country peacefully. I wanted them to be asked. I don't want them to be black bagged and taken away by men in masks.
Oh,
I don't
that's
want that.
bullshit. That's
That's what it is.
absolute bullshit. They don't actually care
Yeah,
though.
but
They
that's what
just don't want to see it.
that's
That's the
exact that's what it is. They don't want to see
that's
it.
what it is.
But that's
It's not
why
that they
but
actually
they
care.
still
It's
but
the tone.
they still put down ICE in terms of approval, so they still contribute to the disapproval rating of ICE. Democrats almost entirely hate ICE. I think if you find a Democrat who likes ICE, that person might actually be worse than a single Republican you can find. Um
Fetterman.
Fetterman, yeah. Fetterman. Yeah, Fetterman's the type of
I
guy to
actually
like
don't
ICE.
know his stance on ICE,
I don't
but
think
I
he's
do
talked about it
feel
because
like
Fetterman's too busy going, I fucking love Israel. I fucking hate Palestine. I love it. That's what Fetterman's too busy doing. So he's too busy getting hospitalized for his love of Israel. Um,
ICE.
his stroke happened because he heard that an Israeli kid got called a mean name by a Palestinian child who was then shot on sight by an IDF. That's why he had a stroke. He was like, I can't believe for a second a Palestinian was allowed to say a mean word to an Israeli. I can't believe it.
I almost thought you were gonna say he was like too busy stroking it to like pictures of the idea
Yeah,
firing into innocent
he
civilians.
was looking at like a documentary of the Nakba and was like, oh my god, I can't fucking keep it in my pants. Oh, I don't know why that made him sound like that. I don't even know what Fetterman sounds like. I haven't heard him speak in fucking forever, not since the Senate elections for him. Um, But yeah, the funny thing about the ICE recruitment is their advertising. Not only did they make this shitty like we're taking father son bonding to a whole new level,
Oh
no
yeah, I saw
age
that.
cap, join ICE
Yeah.
now. Like what? This is so weird. It's just
Recruit
weird.
everything.
It's weird. It's fucking
No, do you
weird.
know what it is? Do you know what ICE really is?
What?
It's Neighborhood Watch gone
It is
national.
neighborhood watch gone national. That's a good point.
Because
But like,
Neighborhood Watch, look,
yeah,
I can understand one thing here, right?
yeah,
I can understand that you don't want the neighborhood where you live to be susceptible to crime.
yes. You say this as a South
That
African.
is a normal human feeling.
Yes.
Nobody wants to live in a crime-riddled neighborhood unless they are one of those people contributing to the crime.
Yes, yes, yes. Nobody likes
And
living in a
even
dangerous
so,
area.
most criminals like to do their crimes in other people's neighborhoods.
Yes.
It just works out better for them. Either
Yes.
way, the type of people who join into Neighborhood Watch are the kind of people who they want to know what their neighbors are up to, because if their neighbors don't agree with them on certain ideological and like lifestyle ways, it's like HOAs. They
It
work
is like
together with
HOAs.
HOAs. They
They are
create
one and the
this
same.
homogenized sort of singular white bread fucking white, like the white picket fence image in the
Yeah, that's
US, right?
HOAs
Like it's a
and neighborhood
very
watch.
yeah, it's a very American image.
Yeah. The
Like there's
neighborhood
no
watch.
place in the world that has such a distinct image for what a
n-
neighborhood should look like.
Neighborhood watches exist to threaten black people. That's why they
Yes.
exist. That's why they existed.
You're
Sundown
you're
Township.
black and you're walking in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
Why?
It's like instead of calling the police to go and threaten this black person, we'll call Jerry from the neighborhood watch, and he'll go down with like a fucking like a baseball bat, and he'll be like, "Get off my damn street, boy. We don't want no problems here." And then it becomes like a
Yeah,
lynching.
aren't they just basically akin to legalized lynch mobs at that
Yeah,
point?
they are. I
Like
mean, that's definitely how they started.
ideologically?
That's definitely how they started. Nowadays, I don't think anyone fucking cares about the neighborhood watches anymore. You see those signs, and you know nobody's paying attention to that shit. Probably because people don't fucking care anymore. Now because most of the time with people nowadays, they don't even have neighborhood watches. They just sit on their porch with a shotgun. Like they just sit there waiting for some black kid to knock on the door, and then they blast them through the fucking mail slot. Like that's what it looks like
Because
now. They don't even have the neighborhood watch because nobody even talks to each other anymore in their neighborhoods because suburban
in
neighborhoods
South
are awful.
Africa, we have like what we call neighborhood watch isn't like neighborhood watch, it's private security
Yeah, because your
companies.
police are fucking the criminals.
I mean, only like mostly.
Don't worry, it's the same over here,
Like,
except
look,
organized crime.
look. Remember I said you have a lot of police forces? Like, I've
Yeah,
explained to you how the South African police
yeah,
forces work, right?
yeah. You have the
There's the
police,
SAPS,
and then you have
which
Cape Town
is,
police.
yeah, basically Cape Town, Western Cape police.
Yeah, you have your own police because you guys can afford it.
We can also afford to fill the holes in our roads and
You can
have
afford a
like
lot of things.
50% of the load shedding that the rest of the country has. And
You want me to come to
you know,
South
for a
Africa?
long time, I wanted, and you can tell me, this is actually an interesting topic to get onto here, since you're an outsider and you just
Yeah.
look at it from the outside. But there is a movement for the independence of the Western Cape.
You know what?
But here's the thing.
Go for it. I don't care. Go for it. That's funny.
Here's the thing, is that the movement, the people who are the most staunch proponents of this movement are racists.
Aw, I mean that makes sense. That makes sense. That's
Like
like
they're not like we're racist and we're doing this for racist reasons, but it's
we don't
very clear
trust
that
the
they
black
are.
government.
And to say that they're racist, remember race relations in South Africa is very different.
Yeah.
So it's not as if it's like white folks saying everybody else get out.
It's
It's kind of white and brown folk saying,
like colored people.
like colored people and all that saying,
I feel so mean to say as an
darker,
American.
darker people get out.
Damn colored people. Yeah, because in
No,
in
I
because
mean,
in America it's very much based on if how much whiteness you are. But like if you're white, you're not black. But if you have any sort of black in you, you're all the same level of black in America. But in
yeah,
Africa, South Africa, it's more colorism. It's more of like what shade are you, rather than like the any form of black is all the same. Because America is very unique in that.
like when Trevor Noah went to America, it was very telling because you just say he's black
Yeah, because in America,
or
that's
mixed
all it
race
needs.
if you want to be like very technical,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But then you look at somebody like who's really dark skinned, I don't know, like Jimon
Obama.
Hansu.
No, Obama's the dark skinned.
Like Jimon Hansu, the actor. Nobody except like
uh,
real full nerds are gonna know who that is if you
no.
want to.
What about like Idris Elba?
Idris Elba. Yeah, like Idris Elba kind of dark. But like they're not the same, but in America they are.
Yeah, they are the same in America because
But
Americans
you
don't really
see,
view racism in the same way that like or view sorry racism view race in the same way that like you guys do down there because America is entirely based on like old slave miscegenation laws where it's like any bit of black in you makes you black. You're free to be
yeah,
slaved now. You know?
pretty much. No, in South Africa it's much more complex and it is kind of also because we don't just have like not to paint all people with the same brush here, but like if you're an African American, whether you're in New York or California, like you're African American.
Yeah.
If you're black in South Africa, you could be Tswana, you could be Sotho, you could be Zulu, you
Yeah,
could
yeah,
be
yeah.
Xhosa.
Because there's
Like
more of a connection to like
they
the
are
history there.
culturally
Yeah.
distinct people.
Because African
It's
Americans have
not
had their
just about
culture ripped
race.
away from them because of the slavery part. It's African Americans come from like every fucking group of like West Africa you can find because of the way slavery
Right.
went. But like in South Africa, it's the homeland for these people, so they're like culturally ingrained there. It's like Native Americans over here, except there's more people in South Africa that are actually African rather than Native Americans over here are kind of like dying out because of the relentless bad things that have happened to them. I think that's a good
You
comparison.
know, it might be a bit of a hot topic to to say something like this, but I do feel like culturally they are one of the most fucked over people when you stretch out their entire history.
Probably, I think like Native Americans, both in America and Canada, and like all of the Americas in general, um, are probably the most fucked over group in
I
history,
mean, like
unless you're
as
count
far as
maybe
like
maybe the
Central and South America, weren't they
may
almost completely
oh
wiped out by
in
this
terms of
time?
Central and South America, yeah, they were pretty much almost completely wiped out because the Spanish did their slavery shit. But I think the only one comparable are like the Jews.
Yeah, but even so, the Jews got their own country out of
The
it.
Jews did get their own country. Native Americans are still being fucking
What
oppressed.
what is what is the biggest like powerful unit of
Probably the probably like
Native American
the
in the world?
probably like the I don't know. How big is the Shoshone? It's going to be like the Shoshone or the Cherokee or something. Biggest Native American reservation. I guess tribe would be a better one because sometimes population doesn't attribute to the. Is it Cheyenne? It's Navajo. Okay, the Navajo. That makes sense.
No,
Oh no, Cherokee. There's a million more Cherokees than there are Navajo. Um,
so the Cherokee.
so the Cherokee, yeah. Demographics, population by tribal grouping. Arapaho. All right, so the Apache are also pretty high up there too. So it's probably the Cherokee, but hold on.
This is not coming up on the.
Oh, sorry, because I was doing it on a different screen. Oop.
There we go.
So yeah, total. There are a total of 2.8 million Native Americans.
Gee,
Um, the Navajo. Wait, why is this such a low number? This is not the number that it was a second ago. Not specified is 680,000. So yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, Navajo. It just Jesus Christ, Navajo and Cherokee over here. I don't know what the hell that other number I was getting was. Maybe it
so
was like
so
Ojibwe,
look, my
Sioux.
statement. I just want to clarify.
Yeah.
This is my clarification moment. My statement is not meant to minimize or
No, no, yeah,
take away attention from anything like
yeah.
the great horrendous things that have happened throughout history, like the slavery of black people throughout history that was racially motivated, the genocide of Jewish people during the Holocaust. I'm not trying to minimize any of that, but
It's just
out
that.
of the
Oh my
history of the
God.
world, these people have been consistently screwed over
Yeah, that's why I
and
said.
never ever given a chance to recover
That's
at
why I
any
said
point.
that the only comparable one is the Jews because the Jews also, until like the 40s, the Jewish people were just consistently not given a chance to breathe, and only afterwards have people were like, okay, maybe let's not be as mean to the
Remember,
Jews.
prior to the 1940s, like they were fine in the Middle East.
Yeah, this is true. It's very contingent
Like
up. We're not trying to pit two bad judges against each other, but yeah, what Jade's saying is,
there's no
Jesus
real
Christ,
comparison
it
here.
never got better for them. Whereas
Yeah,
like,
there's no real comparison here, but there is no place on this planet where you can say that the Native American people have any real sway because even their reservations
yeah,
are kind of
they're awful.
determined by people they can't vote for.
Yeah, I mean they have their own like tribal sovereignties you see down here, but they have like It's very limited. It's about the same amount
If
of
if
authority
Donald
that
Trump,
like it's less than a state.
if Donald Trump decided tomorrow to push something through with his like group of Republicans in Congress and in the Senate and all that, he could fuck over the Native Americans and they couldn't do a goddamn thing about it.
Yeah.
Because what what white bread America is gonna fight that fight?
No, no.
Like I'm just honestly saying,
They're they're
look,
they're probably
there's
people who
good people
live
out
near
there, but
reservations, and there'll probably be plenty of progressives, but it won't be that much. It won't be that much. And think about how long that struggle's been going on for. That you have like people like Marlon Brando in the '70s still having to be like, yeah, they're being like oppressed and shit guys at the Oscars. Or he didn't say that. He had someone else come up and say it. But like you still have like it never got better. They got fucking fucked over so hard,
yeah,
and it never got better. Well, how did we get on this topic? Racism,
racism, yeah,
racism. I want to
racism.
let's
I was just thinking like to
yeah,
myself, you know, there's a lot going on in the world right now.
yeah,
So much so that like if nobody notices, we are cutting down how many things we talk about
yeah.
on a
We still
show.
we're. I only have two things left to share. One of them's still just the second half of the ice thing.
But like essentially, there's a lot of things that aren't being spoken about or deeply thought about in their contexts as well. And like that's more where we're gonna lean. And this is one of those examples of just like shit, nobody's fucking talking about this.
Yeah, it just it's kind of an issue that the Native American issue just kind of fell out of talk like the general discourse because just nobody's here to fight for it. Nobody's here to like even talk about it. You can look at
There's
like
so many other big
land back
fights happening as
activists.
well.
There are like reparation activists, land back activists who do their thing, but they don't get national attention. They don't get national prominence. They get state prominence in places that have a lot of reservations and stuff. But there are people out there who do want to give land recognition, at least, where land that has been stolen, land that is like ancestrally important, gets recognized as such. I remember during one of the Oscars recently, during the Academy Awards, they gave a shout out. A shout out. I guess it was a shout out. They were like giving an acknowledgement of the people who originally lived on the land. I remember people like Bill Maher saying it was too woke. Just because that's the reception it always gets is people who are don't want to think about it. People who are like, oh, you're trying to white guilt me, going, shut up. You don't have it that bad. We're not even like doing the Trail of Tears anymore. Just shut up. That's the response it gets, and it is
Because I
disgusting.
mean, like there was the whole thing with Trump actually changing the Washington.
The what was it was Alaska. It was I forgot the name of the fucking original name of it. I remembered it. I memorized it, but they changed it back to Mount McKinley.
No, not that. The
Oh,
football team.
oh yeah, that one. Yeah, yeah, but that one is another one. It was named Denali. The mountain. I'll get to that in a second. But the mountain was named Denali because of the Native American people. It was originally named Mount McKinley, but then it was renamed back to Mount McKinley from Denali.
Yeah,
But then you also have the Washington Redskins, which is like a really racist name, and they changed it to the Washington Nationals after the George Floyd protests to be more like racially whatever the fuck. And Trump is like, you're not, because it's a Washington D.C. based football team. That Trump is like, you're not going to get the permission to get your stadium renovated, and if you keep the name as Nationals, you have to change it back to the Redskins. Like,
yeah. You basically threaten them into doing
yeah,
it, which he does all the time with everything, all the time.
it's just racism is the point, honestly, for them. But like, it's just the fight for like Native American representation and rights has kind of just been abandoned by
Yeah,
hell, even the term Native American is like kind of contentious to say because Native Americans themselves prefer American Indian because from my understanding at least some of them do because there was decades of their names being stripped from them to be
yeah.
American Indian, and then now when they've adjusted to the name American Indian or just Indian, it gets taken from them again to be Native American. But I don't really know the whole deal with that one
I
because I
saw
haven't
an
spoken
interview.
to.
I saw an interview,
Yeah,
and once again, this is one person speaking, not
yeah,
for an entire people. But in this interview, they said, like, in all honesty, what they prefer
Is
is
their
what they
tribe.
are.
Yeah, like Cherokee,
Cherokee, because because
Cheyenne,
the Cherokee
Sioux.
does not see themselves as a
Yeah.
Navajo, like a
And I
Navajo
think
does
that's
not see
why
themselves.
I think that's why I originally compared them to what's going on with the dynamics like in South Africa, because you wouldn't look at like you wouldn't go to a guy who's like Xhosa or Zulu and be like, you guys are the same, because they're not the same. They're
No,
from two different places. They're from two different cultures. They're from two different like cultural
but
backgrounds.
I guess the big difference there is that both of them would call themselves
South
South
African,
African,
yeah, that's the thing though.
whereas
Native Americans, they
they've been
wouldn't.
so otherized in your society. Like these,
Yeah,
like
some of them would say
they
that
are,
I'm an American. I'm an American. I've been living in the living in fucking New York for 30, like whatever the hell. But a lot of them, especially ones who live on reservations, would be like, I'm Cherokee, I'm Apache, I'm Cheyenne, I'm Sioux, whatever. You know,
yeah.
rather than saying I'm Native American. It's like a fucking heavy topic. It's like the identity and cultural erasure over the course of 200, 300
Because
years.
because that's the thing, right? Like I'm always somebody who's like, fuck your nationalistic pride and stuff like that,
It
right?
yeah
But when it comes to stuff like race and culture, and that's like there's certain understandings you have to have.
yeah
And I think one big mistake that's being made in the entire discourse from, I wouldn't say so much the sort of, let's call them the left side of the argument,
yeah
but like very much from the right is equating culture and color.
yeah
Because
yeah.
I will show you some fucking white trash fucking people.
Some real Afrikaners trash.
Like Afrikaners, but even in America, in Europe, no matter where you go, like, because look, in South Africa, one of the things that the racists are always saying is that if you look at the really poverty stricken parts of South Africa, right? These townships, as they're
Yeah,
called, they're shacks. They're built out of like
trash. They're
tin,
built out of like
like,
garbage,
like leftover
like scrap metal.
pieces, the scrap metal, shit like that. They're literally built out of that stuff, and a lot of like middle class white South Africans sit there and go like, look at how they live. Almost
Like they
like
choose to
that's
live
how
like
they
that.
choose, like
Yeah,
they choose to live like that. And it's like, no, if they could have a nice house like you know, they fucking take it in a heartbeat, but they can't fucking afford it. They can't,
yeah,
they've never had the opportunity to even try to get to that level.
yeah,
So like
yeah. The whole
it,
equating
they
culture
the
to
culture,
skin
yeah,
color. That's
equating culture
so.
and color.
That's honestly a thing I see all the time. You see it with a lot of time with like white people too, being like white culture. Like, what is white culture? There's no white culture. There's like French, there's German, there's American, but there's no white culture. Talk to a guy from Poland. Talk to a guy from California. What are they gonna have in common? You know? But you see like white
Racism.
supremacists say that shit all the time, where they're like, "Yeah, no, we have like the white brotherhood in charge." It's like you're fucking ridiculous. Shut the fuck up.
What are they gonna have in common? Their racism.
Yeah, guy from Idaho, guy from like fucking Warsaw. Yeah, they're gonna have, I mean, not Warsaw, but maybe like some fucking Polish village. Yeah, they're gonna have a lot of things in common, especially when it comes to their thoughts on like Jewish people.
From the from one from the Free State, one from Idaho, and one from like
Hell
East
yeah,
Germany.
brother. Yeah, East Germany. Yeah, somewhere in like fucking East Germany, some of those fucking heavy ass uh AFD voting states. Hell yeah, they have one thing in common. Ooh, they love the man with the mustache. All right, let's let's um let's wrap up the ice segment though. I wanted to share one last thing on it. Uh, Former Superman actor Dean Cain, the lamest Superman actor from the '90s show The Adventures of Lois and Clark, or Lois and Clark: The Adventures of Superman, or the fuck, from the '90s, joined ICE because of the lack of an age gap now. So we have the 60-year-old man out there.
Pull up a picture of him in the Superman suit. Pull up a picture of him like doing the pose. I want to see Dean Cain
On
Supermaning.
Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Here's Dean Cain Supermaning. He looks awful. He looks like Italian Superman. I don't like it.
It's
Yeah.
it's 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 not right, is it?
It's not right
Is
at
this
all. He's like
Superman's
the
you?
worst look for a Superman.
There's one there that's a screenshot on the right. There's one there.
Uh,
That,
that's not a.
there.
Is that a
That
screenshot? He looks
no, I
awful.
don't.
This looks like a screen. He looks awful. Look at compared to David Corn's sweat. He looks so bad. The best part about it is the fact that his ass looks awful. Look at that. It looks like Comic Sans. Oh, he's like the worst Superman. Why does Lois look like, I guess she looks fine, but her outfit looks funny in that photo.
She was in Desperate Housewives eventually.
Ah, funny. Yeah, there's Dean Cain. Superman hoodie with an American flag. Love Dean Cain. David Corn sweat's such a good Superman. Holy shit. The fuck is
Like
this, man?
Dean Cain was one of the people who kind of like kept the thing alive that if you play Superman, your career is dead because
Yeah.
he did nothing else of note except Ripley.
Yeah.
Go to pull up a picture
A
of him
second.
from Ripley's.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Hey man, I'm just here to tell
yeah.
you about some believe it or not things. Ripley's, believe it or not. This is not the
Getting time
vibe
to
you want to
trust.
get from like this outfit. This outfit is like a fucking Dateline show, not a goddamn Ripley's Believe It or Not. Give me some Bill Nye shit on Ripley's Believe It or Not. This is the
Believe it or
least.
not,
This is the
believe
least
it or
like
not, but I think
2000s
this
weird
was
show ever.
I feel like this was Dean Cain's take on trying to pull off an Indiana Jones-ish vibe, like the
I can
professor,
see
like
it.
the
I can see it. He does kind of look
professor.
like a professor dressing casually, but he doesn't pull it off because he's like
Dean Cain.
Dean Cain. Yeah, like what
He's
is
one of the
this?
coolest people ever. His career was dead.
Yeah, but then you compare like Christopher Reeve's Superman compared to fucking Dean Cain's Superman. L Riz
You know,
versus W Riz.
visually, I will say there is nobody for me who visually hits every note of what I could imagine Superman being than Christopher Reeve.
He is like the guy. Look at him.
He
He
is
is like that. That's
he's
him.
Superman.
That's Superman.
That is
That is
just
that is
he
him.
and and I don't see how like people can compare this to like a Henry Cavill or
Well, Henry Cavill,
like this is I can see he has the same type of things happening, like square jaw,
yeah, the
all of
hair.
that, and the hair and all of that, but he doesn't look like Christopher Reeve.
I don't think that's really
Like
needed.
there's a picture of Superman there with his shirt off, all hairy and all that.
Yeah, it's
That's
before
not
he
what I
becomes
imagine
Superman.
Superman looks. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't imagine Superman looks like that.
No, I see what you mean.
Like
Um,
that's not Superman. Like he's playing the character of Superman in that screenshot. You can say, "Oh, he's not Superman yet," but he is
I
still
think
that
I think a
character.
part of it is that Henry Cavill was never allowed to smile. He's always like looking serious and like stoic and angry. He's never allowed to be like smirk. He's never
Yeah,
to be
but I
like
guess
smirk,
like
haha.
Superman needs a bit of goofiness. And
Yeah, that's
honestly,
why
there
he
was
wears the fucking
something that
tights.
was said about the new Superman that actually really like resonated in a way. Of I don't know if you heard about the underwear
I
discourse,
heard
the
about that.
underwear.
I mentioned that to David.
Yeah,
Um,
do you know what the eventual like final note of
yeah.
them eventually using it
So
was?
so yeah,
Is
James Gunn
Superman needs
was
to be silly.
yeah, it's James Gunn was like having issue like trying to make the Superman tights look good in the David Corn sweat costume. Corn sweat. Let me see. It probably if I Google him, I'll probably just no, not even. I want Superman. Give me Superman. They were having issues with getting the design to work well with the tights, and he talked to like Zack Snyder too, and was like, Zack Snyder was like, good luck with that shit. That's just hard. And then he asked Corn Sweat, and Corn Sweat's like, Superman needs the tights because otherwise children will be afraid of him. Right?
Yeah, it needs to look a bit
He needs to
silly.
look silly, otherwise like children won't be like, oh my god, Superman. Superman. Like he needs it, and I
There's
think that's
also the
like
idea of like
humility.
the not just humility, but Superman. This is something that's not true for the Henry Cavill Superman. Let me say that first. But the idea of Superman is that he always pulls his punches, right?
Yes,
Like he's never actually hitting anybody ever
at full
anywhere
heart,
at
at full
just
strength.
he is never ever actually trying to be destructive or hit things. Like he's
Yeah,
if
which
I
is
remember in the old comics, a lot of there's a picture there of one of the old
yeah,
comics. A
the
lot
Action
of the
Comics.
more classic things are him doing stopping trains and catching airplanes and
Yeah, if you watch the original movie, most of the movie is like him saving people from like accidents or
saves
getting
the
cats
day.
out of trees or like saving like the first save of the movie, the first thing he does as Superman in the movie is Lois is like falling because the helicopter like starts to crash because of like an accident and he catches Lois and then he catches the helicopter. Like that's the very first thing he does. And then
Like
for
his
this movie,
super
he's like
strength,
stopping trains from crashing and stuff, and
the
then he stops
purpose of
missiles.
Superman's super strength is not to be stronger than the opponent.
Yeah,
The purpose of Superman's super strength is to be able to stop any bad thing that is happening.
yeah,
He can take any bullet for you and not be hurt. He
yeah,
can catch any car out of the sky. He can save you from anything from a flood to a hurricane to falling into a volcano. He can catch you at the last second because not only can he fly, he's fast enough. Like that's
yeah,
Superman. Hitting the bad guy real fucking hard doesn't mean he's Superman.
yeah. The bad guy being there is supposed to be like bad guys causing all these
Catalyst.
issues, right? He's like
Yeah.
he's creating all the things that Superman
Like,
saves you from, and then Superman's like, all right, I'm gonna deal with the issue now, and that's the reason why a lot of Superman's villains are like Lex Luthor, or like they're like rich
yeah,
people,
like you can't beat Lex
or like
Luthor
war
just by
conquerors and
hitting
stuff,
him.
and a
Because
lot of
Lex Luthor's business is going to continue whether Lex Luthor
yeah.
has a bruised face or not.
And also, a lot of Superman villains represent like war conquerors because Superman's a character that comes out of a time of war, right? So a lot of his villains are people like Brainiac who cause mass destruction on planetary levels and stuff, and he has to go stop the guy who causes the genocides. You know, like they're people who aren't just like I'm here to fucking kill so many people, Superman, like something like I don't know, like Zod's another one who's like a big war conqueror. But then you look at like I don't know Henry Cavill Superman, he doesn't save anyone in this fucking movie. Like in Man of Steel, he never fucking saves anyone. I watched it recently. He saves like a few people, but like he never like does the in Henry Cavill in Christopher Reeve Superman movies, he'll save someone, chat with them for a minute, and be like, all right, hope everyone's safe here, right? I'm good to go. All right, good. Bye, guys. Bye. Smile. See ya. And then he leaves. Henry Cavill Superman stands there, stares, doesn't actually intervene immediately. He stands there and stares as people like look at him and go, Superman. And then he comes down, saves them, and then leaves without saying a single word. Like he's a fucking like they embrace the alien part of the character, and I just don't like that. Like and then, of course, the ending of Man of Steel, where you have him blowing through buildings, doing like full force punches against Zod, and like just blowing up fucking skyscrapers and like just wrecking havoc, eye lasers everywhere. Like it's just like what the fuck, man? That's not Superman. That goes against like what you said about like pulling the punches and like being there to save people. That's entirely what the character is. It's such a good read of the character, and Zack Snyder just missed it for his movie. We got super off topic about this. Um,
We did kind of, but I think like
the
that's kind of like how it goes.
You
When,
know what the point of Superman's powers are? To arrest immigrants. He has that secret vision to make sure that you can't hide them from him. I want to point out a quote here actually. Uh we know Superman is an immigrant. He's a freaking alien. The American way is immigrant friendly, tremendously immigrant friendly, he added. But there are rules. There have to be limits because we can't have everybody in the United States. We can't have everybody. Society will fail. So there have to be limits, says Superman. Would Superman ever say that?
didn't 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 Superman lie on his paperwork though?
Yeah, Superman is an illegal alien. He didn't say he was from
Superman's
Krypton on his
paperwork
like
is illegal.
on his fucking application to the Daily Planet.
He didn't even do the immigration process.
Yeah, he like crash landed here as a child. He's an anchor baby.
He's not even an anchor baby. He wasn't born here. He
You're
straight up
right. He's not
stole
an anchor
fucking
baby.
like identity, didn't he? Like
They need to
his
arrest
parents
Jarrell.
must have.
They need to arrest
Like
Jarrell
how?
for sending a
Just think
baby to
about the
America
logistics
illegally.
of this. How is this the logistics of this,
They
right?
should
So
arrest Dean
you're
Cain
a
for being an illegal
poor farm
immigrant from Krypton.
you're a poor farm family, right?
Yeah,
In out in what's it, Kansas?
Kansas, Smallville, Kansas.
And Smallville, Kansas. You're a small you're just a poor farm family. You're just a husband and wife. You got nothing in the world except your
You're
farm
kind of
between the two
old.
of
You're like in
you.
your 40s. You know, no
You're like in
kids.
your 40s, like most of your life is over, like, and this kid lands on your lap, and you have to now send this kid to school. Like, you have paperwork to fill out. Like, when were you pregnant?
I
Did the
yeah.
hospital not ask anything? Where's the adoption paperwork if you weren't Where is the paperwork for this child? What is Superman's social security number? Clark, your paperwork doesn't check out.
Like a
Mr.
fucking
Kent,
The reason why that Superman gets his identity stolen is because some guy at the IRS is like, wait a fucking second, where's Clark Kent's like social security number, huh?
am
Oh
I not
man,
wrong
that
though?
is so
Like there
funny.
are
That
like
is
little
so funny.
processes, and it's never
Clark,
ever
you
like
need to make sure
addressed.
you listen to the American
How?
bureaucracy.
Who is Clark Kent according to the government?
He's the son of uh Jarrell. I don't know. No, he's like a non-existent. Clark Kent is like a fucking false identity. He would
Because
get
at some
arrested for
point,
like hiding his identity or something.
so yes, he's beyond just an immigrant. He's an illegal immigrant.
Yeah, he gets paid in cash from the Daily Planet because they don't have a social security number for him.
Do you think like we can deport Dean Cain for playing an illegal immigrant on
Yeah, we
TV?
have to arrest him and send him to Alligator
Dean
Alcatraz.
Cain, we heard that you can self-deport now, Dean.
Dean Cain Superman is just like a fake Superman who would exist in the comics that the real Superman would come and be like, you can't be doing this, man. You're going to get hurt. And he's like, no, I have to stop the bank robbers or something, you know? That's the kind of Superman Dean Cain is. He's the type of Superman who would be in the ice truck with ice agents, and then the real Superman would come down, stop the ice trucks, and be like, you can't be doing this, son. Son, but like Dean Cain is like 30 years older than like the real Superman is or some shit. Oh man, I fucking hate Dean Cain. That's so funny. That's so funny. uh
The only actor I can think of that's worse in the same like line is the Hercules guy.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No, the 90s TV show Hercules,
Oh, let me look
who
Google this
then
real
went
quick.
on to star in God is Dead.
Kevin Sorbo?
Yeah.
Wait, what? He played Hercules? I only know him for God's Not Dead.
Look at how he looked with Hercules. You gotta bring this up. You gotta bring this up. Look at how he looked.
Oh my god. They
So
made him a loser.
this was actually a tie-in series with Xena Warrior Princess.
Me when I watched the
You can
inferior
see there's
show. Yeah, there
shots
she
there
is.
with Xena.
There
There's
she is.
Xena. And
Wow.
I'll admit, I'm a big Xena Warrior Princess fan.
I'm
Like, you
not
can't take that
surprised.
shit away from me.
I'm not
Fuck you.
surprised.
Xena Warrior Princess is cool.
I'm not saying it
You
wasn't.
can't.
Oh, look at bro, it's a double feature.
It's a
It's the
double
double feature.
feature.
Dean Cain Superman and Kevin Sorbo Hercules. Dean Cain was confident he would beat Hercules Kevin Sorbo on their Superman audition. That's so funny.
Could
That's
you
so
imagine a Kevin Sorbo Superman now? With a
funny.
desperate housewife as Lois.
Oh my god. That's actually
How cursed would that
oh
be?
oh God's Not Dead with Superman in it. Oh man. He played the guy who got hit by a car in God's Not Dead, right? He played the
Yeah,
professor.
he plays the professor, yeah.
Yeah, I could probably see if I go to filmography. He'd be the only one he's credited in. Yeah, yeah, he was the professor. We should watch this movie.
No, I won't. I
Shane
won't.
Harper. This is the guy who. No, that's not the student. Who's the student? Yeah, who's the guy who becomes David A. White, right? This guy, yeah, David A. White, Reverend Dave. This is the guy who's like the big main character of the series.
Like, isn't like God's Not Dead 4 where he becomes like president?
I think so. Hold on. We can probably find that out if God's
Reverend
not dead.
White. President Reverend White.
We have God's Not Dead 1, which is the college professor being like, God's not dead, write that down. And you have like a Muslim
I think
student who
it's,
becomes
yeah, it's In
Christian.
God We Trust,
Yeah.
2024.
We have God's Not Dead 2, which is about I think the church needing. Oh no, this is the one where there's a student who reports his teacher for saying that God is real, and then the teacher has to go to like Congress to be like God is real. And then A Light in the Darkness is about them having to rebuild a church that explodes. And then We the People is about homeschooling, where I think Reverend White becomes a senator. Yeah, he becomes Congress or some shit. And then this one, he becomes like president or some shit. It was announced, yeah. Dean Cain. They are in the movie together. They are in this together. Holy shit.
Yeah. Eventually they you're gonna
Reverend
see who
Dave.
plays
Dean Cain,
the
Mark Shelley. He came back in this movie.
you see who plays the Democrat in that movie. The
Uh,
opposition. Ray Wise.
Ray Wise. Oh shit. The funny looking guy.
He plays the bad guy in a pro-Republican movie,
That's
meaning
so
that
funny. Yeah, it's a. Who did he play in RoboCop again? Was he whatever the fuck his name was? Film Leon Nash. Who the fuck was that? Was that the villain? I don't remember. He was in, yeah, he played the main villain in Swamp Thing. That was a fucking shit ass movie. That was an
Swamp Thing.
awful fucking movie. Who was he
It
in
was a
X Men First?
product of
He
its
played the
time.
Secretary of State, and it was a. This was a fucking. This was a Wes Craven movie.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's a product of
Yeah,
its
it's a
time.
really bad Wes Craven movie. Probably his worst one. Nah, that's probably not true. He's probably got some like really shitty like student.
Everything can be a hit. Not
Yeah,
everything can be a hit.
very boring movie. I guess we're not getting to the third thing because it's already over an hour and a half. Unless we want to talk about it real quick.
What's the headline?
It is a really big one, and it comes off of a lot of things that we've been talking about past few weeks. The House Oversight Committee subpoenaed the Jeffrey Epstein files. So
Oh, right.
we talked
Epstein. I
about
guess I'll throw in my 2 cents
yeah,
here.
we talked about how Mike Johnson suspended the House from having any sort of decisions until after the end of summer, but this is a committee, not the actual House itself. So they're able to still subpoena and stuff. So they've subpoenaed the Epstein files and they've asked for depositions from several people, including the Clintons. I think there's actually probably be a list of people who are being. Yes, here's the people. So get the fuck out of here. President Trump has signed a bill that eliminates 1.1 billion federal funding from public. Oh, this is I'm on NPR. Um, this list includes former President Bill Clinton, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, as well as top law enforcement officials from previous administrations, including FBI directors James Comey and Robert Mueller, and former Attorneys General Merrick Garland and Bill Barr. Also, Jefferson Beauregard Sessions III is also being subpoenaed, but I don't know why his name isn't here. He has the funniest name out of any politician I've ever heard of. Jefferson Beauregard Sessions III from South Carolina. But yeah, they're having a deposition from a lot of law enforcement people, attorney generals, and the Clintons. Depositions from them. I actually don't know if they're filmed or not. They might be filmed.
No deposition for Trump.
No deposition for Trump, but that's probably because they're wanting to start small, and if they try to get Trump, they will be shot. So they probably want to actually get something done. It's like getting someone, like getting a serial killer who you know killed like 80 people, but you can't get all proof of all 80, so you have to go for like 10. You know, it's like that. It's like we know Trump's involved, but we have to start small because otherwise we're not going to get anywhere, right? Like you can't just blow your load and get Trump immediately because then Trump's going to have like some fucking overreach of power that gets you killed, right? Like your car will explode as you're about to head your way to the fucking Congress building. You can't fucking risk that. So, your thoughts?
So the Epstein thing is difficult because
Yeah.
my immediate response is going to sound rather like bad, which is you're still fucking talking about this. And it's not because I don't think we should be talking about this, but it's because like Epstein's been spoken about for so goddamn long that where's the action? I know like this is subpoenas and all that, but
This is
like
the
what
action.
is this going to lead? Yeah, but this it's
Well,
fucking
this,
how many years down the line we have had so many false starts on the Epstein thing. When he first got arrested, from
yeah.
that day forward, every time it comes up, it's like, oh, just around the corner, it
Well,
could
this,
be
this
somebody might
is,
just say those
this,
files might just, and I'm tired of it.
yeah,
Just something needs to be actually done.
this is the action for it. Because a subpoena is, you have to give us these files or your ass is in trouble. Because now the Justice Department
Okay,
needs to deliver something. They need to give something. So something
okay.
will
So you
come.
want to know why
But here's
my
what here,
hopelessness is so
yeah.
thick? Because what happened when they asked Trump for the fucking
They didn't
files?
subpoena him. They asked him for it. They didn't subpoena him, right? They just said,
But
nah.
you do see that he is very happy with skirting whatever
Yeah.
bullshit
But
they
now they have
say.
to send
So
something, and they can't just send anything. They can't just send like a bunch of redacted papers. They have to send something of substance
they'll
because
send phase
otherwise
one
they'll send phase.
again.
They'll send something will be sent. Something will be sent, and whatever that something is, it's something, right? Like either if it's like a page that has a bunch of redactions on it, then now we have like the Justice Department. They're clearly hiding something, right? Like something will come from this, and I'm actually very curious to see what it'll be. Um,
But
but
it
I
does
actually think
still like
the more
come through as a false start.
the more notable part for me is actually the depositions, because them actually fucking getting like Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton in is actually
But will
kind of
they be
crazy.
made public?
I don't know, because I don't know if they'll do it because there's so many people coming in that I don't know if they in order to make sure that people don't get their stories corroborated with each other, that they won't publicize it initially.
These people corroborated their stories 5 fucking years ago.
Yeah, but these aren't like the main guys. These are like, except for the Clintons, the other ones are the people who were in the know. Like these aren't even people like Merrick Garland and Comey are being indicted because of the information they knew as attorney generals and like as prosecutors and stuff. They're not being here as like Epstein accomplices. So these are people that don't really have their story straight. These are people who were like told to shut up by the people who had their story straight. These are people who were told to shut up by the Clintons and stuff. So like that's really interesting to have them in there, because those are people who have no obligation to stay quiet because of their own implications in the Epstein Islands. They're only there being quiet because they're told to be quiet by the people who are also being depositioned, like the Clintons, right? So I'm actually really curious to see what they have to say, because I'm sure the Clintons will just be like, they'll have their thing to say and stuff. But I'm actually really curious what Comey and Garland have to say, and Bill Barr and stuff. Who's the other guy? Mueller, yeah, Robert Mueller. Comey's director of the FBI, and then Merrick Garland and Bill Barr are attorney generals. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm very curious what they have to say. But
God.
this is an ongoing thing. This is something that we'll probably check in on next week if anything is new with it, but probably won't be because courts move slow.
Courts move slow, but I look, as I said, I'm not trying to be down on it. I'm not trying to like, but I am. How many false starts have we had
We've had
now?
a lot. I mean, this year alone, there's been so many. Remember
Okay,
when they
this year
leaked
has
it?
been rather
Remember
aggressive
when
with
they
it.
posted on like social media and they were like, "Look at guys, I got my binder with the Epstein files. I'm looking through it right now." And then like you can just look and it's like a
Files
blank
on
folder.
my desk.
Yeah, the files are on my desk right now. There's 900 gigabytes of child porn. I'll be looking through it later tonight. Any questions? You know, Ugh. I don't know. I don't think it'll be like straight up like, oh, here's Trump's name right here next to a fucking photo of a 18-year-old, not 18-year-old, 8-year-old. See, my instinct whenever to think of a sexual situation is instantly go to an 18-year-old because that is the bare minimum of youngness. So like my brain
So
is
you
not
think about the
conditioned.
bare minimum quite often.
Well, no, if I'm thinking of like the young, well, I'm also 20. Like,
So fucking with you.
I'm gonna have to fuck. You're mean. I was saying like,
Riley, you're 20.
the youngest in my brain that's possible to pull is 18. Because my brain didn't even go that far. I was trying to make a joke that like I'm so good, but now this just looks bad.
You're digging this hole deeper.
I'm making the whole dogs like to dig.
Dogs like to dig. If you dig any deeper, I don't know if you're gonna get out of there by next week.
Help me! help me. But yeah, no, like they're not gonna have like a paper that just says like, here, Trump fucked kids. Woohoo, we did it. We proved it. We proved that Trump did it. It's not gonna have something like that. But this could lead up to more
What do you
depositions.
think would happen? My last question to you for how extreme it is for this episode is, what do you think would happen if video footage got released of Trump with an Epstein victim?
Well, they would say it's AI, but like, holy shit. Like, it wasn't like actual sex, but if it was like him with a 13-year-old and then they like, then like all of a sudden pixelation starts to occur and everyone's like, and you could hear it. I think that like that would be enough. But like, even if it was like just them and then they go into a room and then you don't see them, like ooh, that'd be devious. That exists
That'd be
somewhere.
devious,
That
but like
exists somewhere.
but
At
like
least at some point in time.
knowing the type of people Epstein and them are,
Yeah.
I
That's
feel
haunting.
like on a hard drive out there somewhere is a video. There is
Out
video
there,
evidence.
somewhere on a camcorder, at some point in time, maybe it was smashed, but at some point in time, there was camcorder footage of Trump fucking a kid. 1,000,000%. Because Epstein's the guy who would have that as blackmail. Epstein probably filmed at some point Trump fucking a kid. 1,000,000%. And you know Trump too? Trump doesn't even take drugs. Trump doesn't get drunk. Trump was doing that shit sober. Trump is a guy who's famously doesn't drink. So he fucked all those kids sober. So like, you don't even get to see like a drunk Trump. You get to see like a fucking full-on, full-brain active Trump fucking a kid on camera. That's fucking awful and
Does that blow your
insane.
mind to realize that,
Doesn't
like,
blow my
regardless
mind.
of what people are saying, it's just like that probably does like exist out there.
It does exist. It was probably smashed at some point, or if not smashed, kept in a bunker underneath a mountain that has like 80 key cards to get inside of, and if you even get near it, you get incinerated by like high-tech laser turrets that no one's ever seen before. Guarded by all the other secret shit the government doesn't want you to find out. Like, that's the only place it could exist if it's still in existence. Either that or it's in like Trump's Mar-a-Lago fucking bathroom with all those other files that he was storing. I'm so upset we weren't doing the podcast back when that happened, because that's like the funniest fucking thing ever. I was laughing about that for like a month. The
You
Mar-a-Lago
were laughing
bathroom
about it, but do
files.
you know how much of an indication of a deep-seated fucking problem with your government and law
That's
system
our
that
money.
was?
That's our Zuma hiding fucking cash in his mattress. Like that's like on the level of that type of shit with
Posa
like
was hiding
Fireful.
cash in his mattress. Ramaphosa was hiding
Ramaphosa.
cash in his
Ramaphosa. I'm sure Zuma was too. Let's be real. Zuma had his
No,
pillows full of cash.
Zuma had like an entire like vault built into his ass.
Scrooge McDuck vault where he jumps in and starts swimming.
I wouldn't be surprised. That motherfucker is. You've seen his
I've
house.
seen the fire pool.
You've seen the fire
I mean,
pool.
we
You've
both saw
seen the shit.
we both saw the house when we
No.
got invited to that Zuma fundraising party, right? Because he's the guy who
That was
funds.
a fundraising party.
He's the guy who funds our show.
God, are you gonna get on that bit again? You know, the last time I remember the first time you made that bit. Fucking the next day, I had load shedding. So fuck that.
Yeah, it's Ramaphosa angry that we're like giving away like the fact that we're on a leash right now from the South African government.
And remember, the
Why?
South African government is funded by the CCP. Now you have links to the CCP, Riley.
Yes to America. Long live Beijing. Long live China.
Do you even want to run with that joke, considering how your nation views like anything linked to the
I'm gonna run with that
CCP?
joke. I'm waiting for the day I get black bagged on my way home from work.
Why do you say that? You fucking crazy dog.
I'm waiting for the day that I like step out of like my job, and as soon as I walk past, I get like abducted by some van that's just like, all right, you're going in the hole. You're going in the hole. Like, there's gonna be a day where like anyone who's ever posted like a black fist in the air and like a red rose on Twitter is going to just get disappeared.
The completely blacked out profile thing they did
Yeah,
back in the
yeah,
day.
yeah, yeah. If you've ever like liked a post by an account that had a gay flag in the title of and in their like their username, then you're getting black bagged.
If your DVD account has like
Like a pride
LGBT
pin.
terms, the pride pin, you're just gonna get
If
fucking
you've
black
ever
bagged.
purchased a microtransaction that gets like a pride pin on your character, you're going to the gulag. I'm sorry. Your COD banner has the progress flag. You're gone, buddy. Your Halo clan tag just says gay. All right, this is a fucking stupid bit. Let's wrap up now.
Thank you everybody
Yeah,
for watching and sticking around and having a
yeah.
good time, and
We appreciate support.
subscribe to my Only Toes. And
The Why stop calling it only toast? You don't have that. It's not a
it's not
thing.
even real.
It's not a
Just let me
thing.
run with my bit. Just let me run
That's
with my
fair.
bit.
You run with my bit. I run with yours. All right. But for real, we have a Patreon. No toes in the Patreon, but you get episodes early and your name in the credits. If you
It's very special. I
if
have
you're
toes
quick
like
enough,
fingers.
shut up. If you get quick enough, you'll be the first name to get your name in the credits because we still have yet to have a Patreon subscriber. But if you do subscribe to the Patreon, you'll get episodes early, name in the credits, and any other bonus content we choose to upload there. And make sure if you don't do that, subscribe and like this video on the channel because it helps out
And
a
then
lot in
you'll get to
discoverability.
see just how much somebody can do with toes like
I am
fingers.
going to go over there and slap you. I'm going to hit you. This is a threat of domestic abuse.
No, a toe can have so many knuckles.
I'm going to scream. All right, that's the end of the fucking episode. Goodbye, everyone.